This is a Samsung Galaxy S4, a phone from 2013. Powerful in its day, but its fall from grace was imminent. Today, we're going to install some games and see if you can still game on it in 2025. The S4 was arguably one of the best Android phones at the time of release, with a Snapdragon 600 processor, 2GB of RAM, and a beautiful 1080p Super AMOLED display. This phone could breeze through any task, but that was 12 years ago. This S4 in particular belonged to my mother. She had it for a few years before she upgraded to a Galaxy S6. Then she gave the S4 to me. I was really young at the time, so having my own phone was very cool. I used it for a couple years until I upgraded to a Galaxy A10. But that was a long time ago. I want to find out if you can still game with it. The first thing I did was install LineageOS, which is a custom build of Android that allows me to upgrade from the final supported Android version 5.0 Lollipop to a newer version, Android 11. LineageOS is based on stock Android, and there have been little changes. This means it's extremely lightweight compared to Samsung's TouchWiz skin that was notoriously heavy and came with a lot of bloat. Since we're also running Android 11, we're able to run more modern versions of games, as many have dropped support for Android 5. I downloaded some APKs, moved them to a micro SD card, then put the card in the S4. Here's what we're gonna do today. First, I'll install older versions of these games, which were the versions I was actually playing back when I daily drove this phone. Then, I'll install the latest versions of these games to see if this S4 can still handle them. The first game I'm trying is Minecraft. The old version we're using is version 1.2.6.2 from around 2017. This is actually one of the versions I was playing back in the day when I was using this phone. I created a new world, loaded in, and I was getting around 20 FPS. After opening the settings and turning down the graphics, I was getting 30 to 40 FPS. It's surprisingly playable given this is a version from 2018. The controls are alright for touch controls. Crazy how I put up with this when I was younger. Now let's try the new version. I installed the latest version of the game, which at the time of filming was version 1.21.4. The game installed, which was a good start, although it went downhill from there. When I opened it, I was brought to this garbled mess of a screen. I think it was some sort of message. After tapping around trying to close it, I was brought to this screen with this sad message saying that this device is no longer supported. I was able to bypass the message and create a world, but what I loaded into was not pleasant. I got into the world and it was absolutely broken. The game was running very badly and the graphics were cooked. One commenter said it looks like Triangle Craft. I went into the settings trying to turn down the graphics, but it really didn't help. I see why this device isn't supported anymore. The next old game I tried is Subway Surfers. This version is from 2017. I loaded into the tutorial and began playing. It seems to be running well, around a stable 60 FPS, but it's not very responsive. I'm not sure if this is the fault of Subway Surfers or the phone itself. The latest version of the game, at the time of filming, runs at what looks like a smooth 60 FPS, but it's less responsive than the older version. This makes it a bit harder to play and you're going to end up dying way more, but it is 100% playable. The next game I tried is Jetpack Joyride, beginning with a version also from 2017. The screen isn't very responsive to touch, but otherwise from that, it seems to be running at a smooth 60 FPS. The latest version at the time of filming stutters more than usual, but otherwise it runs at an impressive 60 FPS. The game is playable. The next game I tried was Fruit Ninja, another title from Halfbrick. The old version I'm using is from October 2016. The game seems to run very well, but the touch isn't very responsive, so it's very easy to miss fruit. It might be a skill issue on my part though. The latest version is a different story. First it made me connect to Wi-Fi because Fruit Ninja is an online game now for some reason. In arcade mode, which is very heavy, the frame rate is very bad and it stutters a lot. The game is barely playable. The next game I tried was Beach Buggy Racing. I used to play this a lot back in the day because it was the closest thing I could get to a modern 3D Mario Kart. The older version we're playing is from 2017. These days I'm not very good at the game, but otherwise the game is running at a decent frame rate. I'd say around 40 to 60 FPS. The latest version, for the first time, I'd say it actually runs better than the older version. Here's some gameplay compared with the old version. You can see there is some sort of improvement. I tried playing Plants vs Zombies, but I couldn't find the OBB file of the old version, so it doesn't launch. So we're just gonna play the latest version. Arguably the lightest game of this roster, the mobile version of this game is locked to 30 FPS. Thankfully, the frame rate never dips below that. Here's some more gameplay. Now, we're going to try emulation. I downloaded RetroArch, a front-end that includes many emulators. I acquired some game files, don't ask me where. I got Super Mario 64, Super Mario World, New Super Mario Bros, Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart Double Dash. All from different eras and their consoles have different levels of power. First I tried Mario 64, a game for the Nintendo 64 from 1996. Performance wasn't impressive at all. The game was running very poorly and at a very low speed. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but listen to the game audio and you'll know what I mean. Next, I tried New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS, a handheld console from 2004. The results were very disappointing. It ran worse than Mario 64 did. It slowed to a crawl and I couldn't even get past the opening cutscene. Super Mario World for the SNES, released in 1991, kept crashing RetroArch for whatever reason. I tried installing Citra, the 3DS emulator, but it failed because the app is written for 64-bit Android and the S4 runs 32-bit Android. This is the same case for Dolphin, the GameCube and Wii emulator. So no 3DS, GameCube or Wii. The last game I tried was Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast with the PSP using the PPSSPP emulator. It ran at full speed most of the time, but I couldn't get above 20 FPS. Then I decided to add more load and increase the rendering resolution from PSP native res to 1080p. The details skyrocketed, but the phone could barely handle it, so the game was unplayable. That was me gaming on the Galaxy S4 in 2025. If it's all you have, you can still kill some time while playing older versions of games. If you have any suggestions on games I could try or ways to improve performance, let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, that means you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you disliked it, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe below to the channel. Thanks for watching.